Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our daily word this morning. It's Monday, the start of a new week together in our season of Lent as we make this Lenten journey all the way to the cross and to, of course, Resurrection Sunday. It's a beautiful, sunny Monday morning. As always, I'm grateful you could carve out time to be with me and to share your lives with me as we continue our journey together. It's President's Day. Carter and Hudson are here today. We might see them. They might pop their heads into this video. We'll see at some point. So anyway, our scripture for this morning for daily word number 864 is from Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 8. Now, this is one verse, and we'll talk about the bigger part of the story in this and what it means to follow, what it means to lead, and what it means to be a disciple. From Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 8, we hear these words. The Lord is the one who goes ahead of you. He will be with you. He will not fail you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed. Now, part of this is a bigger part of this conversation. So, Joshua has been chosen to become Moses' successor. And so in all of that, Moses says to Joshua, "Hi, Hudson, I'm 120 years old. I can no longer do this. I can no longer be the leader." And God said that I'm not going to cross over the Jordan. And so Moses gives Joshua all of these words, and he summons Joshua and says, "Be strong and bold, for you are the one who will go with his people into the land the Lord has sworn to their ancestors to give them, and you will put them in possession of it. It is the Lord who goes before you. He'll be with you. Do not fear or be dismayed." You know, sometimes it's good for us to hear those words of Moses again. So Moses has led this big, long journey, and they're about to cross into the promised land, but we all know that Moses doesn't get to go. And so Moses, after Joshua's chosen, Moses takes it upon himself to give Joshua some advice, some idea of what it means to follow and to lead, and what kind of things that God requires of him. And so for Joshua, what's important to know in this leading, this new job that he's given, is that he hears the words from Moses, and then he takes it to heart, and he leads. And I got to thinking about this for us, in our conversation around Scripture and in the Lenten discipline. We've talked about it, what it means to be in Lent, to get through the wilderness, to be careful, as our words have said, to be reminded that when we're in the desert, when we've been driven to the desert, as we talked about yesterday, that scripture paired with our Genesis text, that when God gives a bow in the sky, to be reminded that God is always present with us, no matter what. And so for us, the call to lead and to follow is the same reminder for us that Joshua gets from Moses. It is God who goes before us. It is God who will lead us. It is God who won't fail us or forsake us. And we shouldn't live in fear or be dismayed. And I think that's one of the challenges in the season of Lent. We're going to hear all these stories this Sunday. I'm working on my sermon for Sunday. We're going to hear about Jesus turning over the temple. That's next week. I apologize. That's for Sunday, March 3rd. It's this week that we're going to hear from the Exodus story when Abram is called by God to go to a new place to live his life. And God said, "I'll make your numbers countless as the stars in the sky." It's just this constant reminder that God is present with us wherever we go. God tells us where to go. God leads us. God guides us. The Spirit leads us. We should always follow. You know, it's such an important thing in our life as we do together. So, in the season of Lent, as we journey together, you know, as we try to find our way, as we navigate all these stories of who Jesus is, I think it's a good reminder for us in all that we have to do. You know, I talked about it yesterday, and I just think it's so true for all of us. You know, that when we're in the desert, when we're in despair, when it seems we can't find our way out, and I talked about it personally yesterday, in my leg and how what awful shape I seem to be in these days and can barely keep going. But there's this reminder again for me this morning, as it is for us. It's God who leads us. It's God who goes before us. It's God who calls us not to fear or dismay. And I think that's something we all just need to grab a hold of and hold on to. So, that's our word for today. That's where God, I think, calls us in this season of Lent. So I pray that we'll know of God's presence. As always, know of my love for you. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Have a great day.